the biggest conversation in all of sports. Damar Hamlin, his obviously his health, his status is getting better. He's trending in the right direction. The reports have come out that he has spoken to his family, to physicians, to the team, and so the prognosis is seemingly improving by the day. We had the conversation early on in the show about, what this made us feel personally, being former players, what it's made people onlooking spectators, what it's made, how it could have impacted them and made them feel, even down to our kids and what they feel. We talked about the whole idea of it, we all have sons, and
Right.
and the question of where do you go from here? How do you handle this conversation with your kids? I have I have two sons that play football, and interestingly enough, one of them is super physical. My older one, Keno, he's a physical dude. He's a thumper. So, and he's a safety / like hybrid nickel backer. So he could very well be in a situation where he hits somebody that's bigger than him, and may not even be bigger than him. He just puts himself in a situation where he may get hit. Little LaVar Man is a defender as well, and there's the possibility that he could get ran into by an offensive lineman or, a fullback, whatever it may be. There could be anything that happens out there on the field. And I got to be honest if I'm being totally honest and transparent with you guys and our listeners, because that's what we build our show on, is putting you up on game and being honest and real and candid about what we say. I didn't feel deterred not one bit about my kids playing football. I didn't see that as, oh, wow, now I got to tell my kids don't play football, or this is too dangerous for you guys. The risks are too high. I just don't see it. Just come work with your dad. Do work with your dad. In fact, it is a teaching moment for me to tell my kids in those moments that this is why you can never underestimate the sport. I think sometimes I think we get so caught up into these video games, just like with the Call of Duties and the Grand Theft Autos. Don't go out there and think that a video game is real life. Stop taking these video games out into the real world. They're for leisure. They're not for real. And when you get out there, you're not playing Madden. You're playing football. This is football. So there's going to be physicality. There's going to be injuries. There's going to be people that find themselves having to deal with situations where the physicality of the game caught up to you. I know this is one of those times where it is such a shock to our system to see it play out, where a man needs to be resuscitated on the field and saved, literally his life saved on the field. But if I'm being honest, it did not deter me and sit there and feel like I need to change my feelings towards what the game represents and what it is. What say you guys?
I mean, when you look at it, LaVar, I've never seen anything like the Demar Hamlin situation ever. And so it's exactly how you described it. It was a freak accident. We've never seen it. No one has experienced anything like this. And so when something happens over and over and over and over, of course you're going to have conversations about it.
Of course.
This was a rarity, and we're going to have conversations about this as well. But it's not going to change you having a child or a loved one that plays this sport and say, oh, we might have to reconsider playing this. We just haven't seen this. He's okay, or we hope he's okay. And if he gets healthy and he's able to play, I would like to see that, because I know that's what he wants. I know that's what Damar Hamlin wants to do, is play football. Is when you come to, you say, did we win the game? Who won the game? And so football, it's a drug to us. It's addicting. I had a ton of injuries playing, and I still feel some of them today. But I wouldn't change a thing. I would not change a thing. I would go through it again if I could, knowing what I'm going through now. I would go through it again. And so I hope that he's completely comes back from this, how he was prior to this incident, and like I said earlier, if my son wants to play, he's going to play. This is what we have not discussed is the fallout from the Bengals and the Bills game not having a definite winner, and what happens to the playoff seeding, the BS that the league pulled where everything goes against the Bengals but favors everybody else. We didn't get into that. Right. They trying to hurt the Bengals and they favoring everybody else. That's not cool.
Oh man. Yeah, that was
look, TJ just dropped the mic like that ain't cool.
Yeah. So I mean, listen, like I said, I wouldn't change anything as far as mindset. With my son, I'm going to support him in any possible, and my daughter in any possible way possible. But there are going to be some parents who are going to, they won't have the same mindset as 100% as we share.
Yeah.
But I want to move on to the mindset and the business mind of us players playing in this league. My son has kept me up to date with his conditioning every day, how he's been improving and, all of those things. And he texted me yesterday. He said, "Dad, you won't believe it." He said he wrote down on a piece of paper, he said, "Did we win?" And I said to myself when I read that, is that we as NFL players, our mindset is so wrapped around the business is that Damar Hamlin, even in the condition that he was in, having a cardiac arrest on a football field, he himself did not even think that he was valuable enough for the NFL to stop a game, even in the condition that he was in. He thought he was unworthy for the NFL to stop a game. And that is the harsh reality of us players, of how we treat this game and to our players. He wasn't even concerned about himself. And the man was fighting for his life on a football field, and the first thing that came to his mind, not him, his teammates, and did we win the game? Think about that.
So
when a young man comes out and basically displays them emotions on a page, he's not concerned about himself. So what kind of effort do you think that you're going to get from this man on a Sunday when he's not even concerned about himself and he's all about winning a football game? And you want to talk about the mindset of a player, that is how our mind operates.
That's so well put, Stretch. That's so well put, because on everything I love, I tell people I'm willing to die for this. And I'll say it, and on God, if you know me, if you've ever been around me and you know me, if I said to you, you my dude, like you my guy, my G, I'd die for you. Like if something happened right now, I'm thugging and bugging. And if I got to take that, if I got to go down for that, for y'all to live, that's what I'm going to do. That's my mentality. I'm a military kid. That's the way I was raised. That's 100. It sounds crazy. It's 100% what I would have said. If I was coming up out of what I was coming out of, I would have wrote down, how did we do? Like, how did we play? Did we finish? Because in the end, everybody doesn't find something that they love enough that they would actually be okay die doing it. I would have been okay dying playing the game of football. It might sound crazy to people. It might sound foreign to you. It might sound like I'm ridiculously crazy. And you know what? Maybe I am. But I'd rather be ridiculously crazy with something that is attached to my passions and my purpose and what it is that I would do in life. And I don't shoot it out there loosely. I always say somebody who's willing to risk it all to make things happen out there on the football field. If you bring talent and you bring skill to that mentality, chances are you're probably going to lose to that person. Look at Ray Lewis and how he played. Look at how you played, TJ. You were taking hits. You were taking shots. You don't just go across the middle. You don't just go across the middle as what would be considered an undersized player and take the ball and knowing that somebody's going to try to knock your lights out. You don't do that if you're not willing to risk it all. And whatever that risk is for, whether it's for your family, whether it's for your legacy, whether it's for your team, whatever it's for, you're willing to take that chance. And anybody who says differently, they're lying. You can't go into our game half-assed. You can't go into our game taking it like, oh, well, today, I'm a lighten up. That's when you're going to get your head taken off because it's still that type of game. So to me, I don't think it's a matter of him not valuing himself enough. I just think he thinks enough of himself and what he represents to the game that look, if he goes up out of here, he went out a soldier. And I know that might sound crazy to somebody, but he went out a soldier. He went out there thumping, doing what it is that he does. And you know what? Everybody has to die, but not everybody lives. Everybody doesn't live. And you know what this game gives us? It gives us the opportunity to show that we have bravery, we have courage, we have character, we have resolve, we have intestinal fortitude. We have all those things that can get us through a game and get us through life. I'm not going to back down for anything. That's going to get me through life. I kind of felt like that was on display. I don't think we should feel sorry for Damar. I think we sit there and we raise him up in prayer. We have positive thoughts, but we know that man was out there doing what he loved to do and loved his teammates and loved what it is. It'd be no different than our people of service. It'd be no different for our people that go to the military force. If you're doing what your purpose has called you to do, then in some instances, there are certain times where the harsh realities that exist will pop up on you. And I don't think there's any way around that. There's no way around that. That's You get the last word on it, TJ, and we got to take a break.
I mean, it's everything you guys have said is absolutely correct. And this, I just amazed at, and I was looking at this a little bit earlier this morning as well, that this shows you he's captured the world where he had a GoFundMe to raise money to buy toys for kids. It was at $2,500. It was $2,500 raised.
No, the goal that he was setting was to get $2,500.
Okay, so he wasn't even at $2,500.
Right.
It's over $8 million right now.
Jeez.
And so he's going to be able to impact kids so much because of a tragedy that he experienced, and I guarantee he's going to do it with a smile on his face. He's going to do it with a smile on his face. And so football is the ultimate team game.
Smiles too. He's going to give people a whole lot of smiles too.
Man,
and so football's the ultimate team game. When you see Zach Taylor say, McDermott told me I can't coach this game. I need to be with him. I need to, like.
And how many coaches would say that?
Not
that
many.
You know.
Not many. We know that.
On the professional level,
we know
how
that.
many coaches do you know that would make that decision and say exactly that?
We know that. And I've never met Sean McDermott, but it's crazy. So you guys know my daughters play softball, and so I still coach softball. And so we're coaching in nationals this summer. His wife he has a daughter that plays softball, and so his wife approached me. We're talking. And she's just telling me stories about he's coaching. His son has a bad game in baseball. Sean will drive 2 hours to work with his son for 45 minutes in hitting and drive back to Buffalo.
Nice.
Like, Sean McDermott is a good man.
Sounds like
great football coach. He's a better man than he is a football coach in little stuff and instances like this where it's put to the test. He doesn't have to think about, oh, what should I do? He does the right thing because that's the type of person he is. Man, I just really, really, truly hope that Damar Hamlin is going to be okay. And if he wants to play, I want him to play because we are going to tune in just to watch him play because we hope he can fulfill his dream of playing in the National Football League more than what he's already played.
Right. There you